No accusations, no confrontation, no public fight. And yet, everything collapsed. This is a story where silence did more damage than anger ever could. A story of how doing nothing, at precisely the right moment, completely destroyed power. When wrongdoing is exposed, people expect noise. They expect arguments, denials, and desperate defenses. The accused in this story certainly did. He braced himself for the coming storm, for the outrage, for the chaos he was sure would follow. He prepared his counter-arguments, polished his excuses, and got ready to fight. But the storm never came. Instead, nothing happened. A deep, unsettling quiet fell over everything, and that silence changed the game entirely. This wasn't an accident, it was a strategy. Silence creates a unique and powerful discomfort. Think about it. Without accusations, there's no enemy to fight. Without a direct confrontation, there's no narrative to control or spin. Every unanswered question starts to feel heavier. Every pause allows doubt to creep in and grow stronger. The powerful man at the center of this story, feeling the pressure of this void, began speaking more and more. He started explaining, justifying, trying to fill the quiet. But as he talked, those watching said less and less. A fatal imbalance had appeared. He was shouting into a vacuum, and his own words were starting to echo back at him, twisted and hollow. The real damage began to take hold in that void. Rumors started to fill the vacuum of information, but these weren't rumors spread by an enemy. They were whispers born from the silence itself. People started asking questions, and with no official answers, they started inventing their own. Allies began to second-guess their loyalty. Supporters hesitated, wondering if they were backing the wrong horse. The man's foundation of confidence started to erode, not from an attack, but from a creeping internal decay. He tried to explain himself, to get ahead of the whispers, but explanations offered without any accusation sound defensive. And in the court of public opinion, defensiveness always smells like guilt. The more he tried to clear the air, the more he implicated himself in the minds of others. The turning point was as quiet as the beginning. Still, no one confronted him directly. No angry letter arrived. No public charges were made. There was no open resistance to fight against. There was just distance. Meetings that once ran long now ended abruptly. Messages that would have been answered in minutes now went unread for days. Doors that were always open were now quietly closed. The silence had transformed from a simple absence of noise into a form of collective judgment. Every unanswered call, every empty chair, was a verdict. It was a slow, creeping social isolation, far more terrifying than any open declaration of war. He was being ostracized, not with a bang, but with a quiet, collective turning of backs. By the time any official action was taken, it barely mattered. His power was already gone. It wasn't taken from him in a dramatic coup. It was simply withdrawn, piece by everyone around him. There was no grand finale, no tearful resignation speech. There was just absence. The absence of support, the absence of loyalty, the absence of influence. And for a figure whose authority depends on the consent and attention of others, absence is fatal. He had become a ghost in his own empire, long before the walls officially came down. His downfall wasn't a spectacle, it was an evaporation. The lesson here is profound. Silence is not weakness. Used correctly, it is a form of immense pressure. It creates a space where people condemn themselves. It removes the need for you to get your hands dirty with revenge. The most effective destruction often comes from simply stepping back and letting someone unravel all on their own. No accusations, no confrontation. Silence did all the work. If you enjoy stories of quiet revenge, psychological strategy, and the powerful lessons hidden in history, subscribe for more tales where silence speaks louder than words. Thanks for watching.